Hi there, and welcome back to my channel, Act on Mental Health, where we are learning acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. Now, before we get into today's topic, I did want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude. We are closing in on a milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Now, this wouldn't have happened without your support, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this journey with me. Also, I'm excited to announce the launch of my new website, SeanHardy.com. Here I'll be providing professional coaching services, as well as future courses using ACT. If you'd like to work with me directly, you can schedule a session using the link in the description. On my website, you can also find a variety of services I offer, including individual coaching using ACT, couples coaching, and spiritual direction. I'm also going to be creating a blog that will be weekly, so feel free to check it out. Now, let's get into today's topic, acceptance. What it is and what it is not. In ACT, the term acceptance is defined quite differently from its everyday usage. While many might interpret acceptance as resignation, in ACT, it's all about actively embracing our internal experiences. Richard Bennet and Joe Oliver explain that acceptance involves opening up and allowing experiences to be as they are in order to take steps towards chosen values. It's not about passive resignation, but about making a deliberate choice to allow room for these experiences. This means that acceptance is more about behavioral qualities than emotional ones. You might not feel welcoming toward anxiety, but you can choose to adopt a stance of willingness. This is a deliberate act of choice. An ACT therapist might say, would you be willing to make room and space for this difficult experience so that you could take steps toward what matters? Values are built right into the definition of acceptance, making it functional or whatever works in a specific context in the service of active steps towards values. Allow me to use a metaphor so you can better understand the function of acceptance. Imagine that you're stuck in quicksand. Your initial and gut reaction might be to struggle, to fight to get out. But the more that you struggle, the deeper that you sink. Counterintuitively, to get out, you need a different approach, which means you'll need to lie down to flatten yourself and then roll out to safety. Laying down is context specific, meaning it isn't the answer to every situation, but within quicksand, this is what works behaviorally speaking. This is a powerful metaphor used in ACT to describe the situation many find themselves in when dealing with internal struggles like anxiety or sadness. The key to getting out of the quicksand isn't to struggle more, but to stop struggling. This metaphor illustrates the concept of acceptance in ACT. By accepting the situation, acknowledging the presence of quicksand, you can start to take careful, deliberate actions to roll yourself out. Acceptance here doesn't mean that you want to be in the quicksand. It means recognizing that you are in quicksand and that struggling is counterproductive. A common misconception among both clients and new ACT practitioners, especially early in learning ACT, is that acceptance equates to giving up. This is far from true. Acceptance is about engaging actively with our present circumstances in a way that aligns with our values. Kurt Strassel, one of the founders of ACT, puts it succinctly. The problem is not the problem. The solution is the problem. This means that often our attempts to avoid discomfort are actually maintaining or worsening our suffering. Clients often seek support because they experience an internal struggle or feel that their life lacks meaning. These feelings, though, they often arise as behavioral attempts to avoid uncomfortable internal content, meaning they stay inside instead of going out, or they avoid social situations because of some fear or worry. This avoidance might make life easier for now, but it often leads to more suffering. This pattern of choices is known in ACT as experiential avoidance, which is the opposite of acceptance. Experiential avoidance is the attempt to avoid or escape unpleasant internal experiences. While it might provide short-term relief, it can lead to long-term problems. Just as it is with acceptance, experiential avoidance is context-specific, and may work in some situations, like avoiding peanuts if you have an allergy. Experiential avoidance is only problematic when it interferes with taking valued action. Experiential avoidance often co-occurs with other ACT processes like cognitive fusion or lack of contact with the present moment. When an emotional experience occurs and a person becomes fused with thoughts like, "this is too much," or "I can't handle this," the experience is transformed into something threatening. It pulls the person out of the present moment, increasing the likelihood of behavior being controlled by aversion, making value-based actions less likely. The ACT core processes work together to combat harmful experiential avoidance. Let me use another helpful metaphor to understand acceptance's role. This metaphor is called the unwelcomed party guest. Imagine you're throwing a party and an unwelcome guest arrives. It's your Aunt Crabby. You might spend a lot of energy trying to get her to leave, but this often distracts you from enjoying the party and interacting with your welcomed guest. You have a choice to make. Do I let her in or keep her out? And if she stays, do I follow her every move to make sure she isn't crabby to all the other guests? Or do I enjoy the party? In ACT, this unwelcome guest represents our unwanted thoughts and feelings. The more that we try to fight them off or avoid them, the more that they can disrupt our lives. Acceptance, in this context, means allowing the unwelcome guests to stay at the party without letting them dominate your attention. By accepting their presence, you can focus on engaging with your valued activities and the people who matter to you, enjoying the party. Acceptance isn't just for clients, it's for therapists too. In therapy, acceptance is woven into various strategies aimed at enhancing psychological flexibility. Practitioners model behaviors that demonstrate acceptance, such as acknowledging their own discomfort, but choosing to proceed in the entrance of the session. This modeling shows clients that it's possible to coexist with discomfort and still make value-driven choices. We also evoke acceptance by inviting clients to describe what they feel in the moment, linking this awareness to their ability to make conscious choices towards or away from their values. This move illustrates the direct link between acceptance and present moment awareness in the Hexaflex model. By bringing attention to the presence of discomfort and exploring choices that the client has, a client can learn to make more aware and active decisions, meaning they can choose to have the discomfort even in this session. From a behavioral stance, practitioners can model, evoke, or reinforce acceptance behaviors. Modeling acceptance in our behavior, such as admitting I feel anxious about raising this subject, demonstrates that we can experience discomfort and still function effectively. To summarize, acceptance is not resignation or giving up. Acceptance in ACT is all about making space for internal experiences and responding to them in ways that align with our values. It's about choosing to stop struggling futilely and instead taking mindful, effective action toward what truly matters. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't miss my upcoming videos, ACT and Trauma, and integrating ACT and DBT. Until next time, remember your journey towards more purposeful and mindful life begins with a single click.